Today we're going to be looking at some unlucky people who should not have ignored the red flags.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
Before I get into this, it's really hard to admit that I allowed my ex-fiance to treat me like this. And not even someone I was dating, I was fiancé.
Fiance means that you're basically like engaged to them, like getting ready to get married. I don't even want to know what happened here.
Okay, so we would sometimes watch a movie and eat dinner as you do, but I was never allowed to sit on the couch and eat because he perceived me as more clumsy than him. So I had to sit on the floor on what he called an eating blanket.
I'm sorry, what? So obviously you're literally engaged to this man and he makes you eat food on the floor instead of the sofa. If you were like a really messy eater, and I mean you literally ate like a dog, you probably don't. Then I could understand maybe like putting a napkin or like a blanket or like something over you. But this man made you sit on the floor and eat your food. This is meant to be your fiance. I hope you weren't being held captive.
Occasionally, if he wasn't home, I would like eat a bowl of cereal while I watched a dumb Netflix show, but I would set up the blanket so if I heard him come home, I could quickly jump to it and he wouldn't know that I had broken the rule.
Oh, right, so this was like an actual proper rule. Yeah, that is a big red flag. He's making you eat the food on the floor. A child wouldn't even be made to do that. Do you reckon that's because of control? He wants to make you submissive, so it means that like you'll do anything he says. I've never been in a relationship, but if I ever get into one, I'm gonna be looking for all these red flags. Like, I don't think I'll be able to get in a relationship. If they do one thing that I see is concerning, I'm gonna dump them.
The moral of this story is if someone treats you like a child, it's not because they want a partner, it's because they want someone they can dominate. While I acknowledge it's hard to get out from the thumb of someone's emotional manipulation at the end of the day, it was up to me to set that boundary. It was up to me not to sit on the blanket.
I mean, I do have sympathy for you. Obviously, you know, you were manipulated into doing it. You were basically controlled. I'm happy you did get out of that relationship though. Like, imagine if you literally married him. I mean, it's so scary to think that like someone you're meant to be in love with can treat you like that. And it is true, you know, there's people out there who want to be able to control you. And if they're feeling to do it, they will literally do whatever they can to control you. It's really freaky.
So I was talking to this dude that was 10 years older than me, and we used to talk on the phone a lot. And one day I called him and he didn't answer, and the voicemail was, "Thank you for calling the Text Now subscriber." And I was like, what grown man in his mid-30s is using Text Now to communicate with me? Is he married? Am I a secret? Or am I a secret and he's married? Like, which one is it?
Okay, I think she's around about 20. I was thinking she was like 15 when this happened. Thank God she was not 15 and talking to a 25-year-old.
So I asked, and he's like, well, I just don't feel like it's necessary to pay for a phone bill when I have this app and all I have to do is be connected to Wi-Fi and blah, 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 right? I don't make any judgments because I've used Text Now before because my mom's crazy and she, you know, blocked a few people from my phone. So I just use Text Now to contact them, you know?
I don't know what text now is. Is it like an American app? Maybe like WhatsApp? But I swear you need a phone number to have WhatsApp. I don't know. If you know what that is, please comment down below.
The next red flag, we go and hang out. Now we've planned this days in advance. One, I have to go and pick him up because his sister apparently has his Audi. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll go pick you up where do you live? Oh, come and pick me up from my friend. So I'm not only don't you have your car, but I'm picking you up from a friend's and I'm picking you up from a friend's, okay? Me! So anyways, I go and pick him up and I'm like, I'm hungry. Like, we should go and eat. Oh, I didn't bring my wallet. Oh, that sucks. I'm going to Chick-fil-A.
Honestly, you should have drove back, dropped him off and said, do you want to do something? Go in and get your wallet, sunshine. I can understand if like it's maybe last minute and they forget their wallet, but like everyone has Apple Pay. Does this man maybe not have it? I mean, apparently he doesn't even have a phone number.
So I get to the Chick-fil-A line, I order my meal and he's like, oh, and may I have a peach milkshake, ma'am? And I was like, oh, I thought you forgot your wallet. And he was like, oh, please. Please. This is not McDonald's. This is Chick-fil-A, okay? Their milkshakes are not cheap.
Yet again, it's American, so I don't know how the American prices are. I'm assuming it's basically like Lidl compared to M&S. That's like the UK equivalent.
Their milkshakes are not cheap. They are on the level of Starbucks at that point. I mean, stuff is like $5. Like, I'm already annoyed that you came and you didn't bring your wallet. Like, who goes out somewhere without a wallet? Like, you don't have no documentation or form of payment. Like, who, like, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, to be fair, I've literally done that before. But you know, if I ever like forget my wallet, I think that I've got mugged or like pickpocketed. That's why I've got everything on my phone now. But it's quite crazy how we like all rely on our phones, don't we? Like most people have like their cards on their phones, their identification. If we lose that wee small phone, we're done in.
So the next red flag is when we went to the mall together. And guess what, y'all? Yes, he forgot his wallet.
Okay, so he's forgetting his wallet again. Does this man literally have a wallet? Does he have a bank account? I mean, this is the third red flag that you've ignored, which you shouldn't have.
But I'm not phased because I know I got money to get me something to eat. Okay, I'm not stressed. So as we're walking around, he's like, oh, I love Gucci. I love the Gucci store. That's my store, blah, blah, blah.
Well, do you want to know something, sunshine? Don't even mention Gucci. You ain't got your wallet. You ain't got money. You ain't getting anything.
Nothing touches his body but Gucci. And I'm like, dude, you make $14.50. I have never seen this Audi car. You live with your sister and her two kids and you don't ever have your wallet and you refuse to pay a phone bill because you don't feel like it's necessary.
Fun fact, a lot of people are actually like that. Like, a lot of people you see dripped in designer and on their socials, it's like luxury everything. They don't have any money. They basically fake that lifestyle. You know how he was like, oh, only Gucci touches his body? He probably spends all of his money on that, and a lot of his stuff is probably fake as well. I don't understand it. You know, if you don't have the money to buy expensive stuff, why would you buy or fake an expensive lifestyle? It's Instagram. Like, they all have to do it for the gram. If he has Instagram, imagine if he doesn't.
Next red flag, he calls me from a random number that so happens to be this is his new phone. I said, oh, okay, you finally got a phone bill. Oh no, my homegirl's paying for it. What?
Homegirl?
Let's continue.
Wait, what's a homegirl? What is a homegirl? This is American slang. Okay, it basically means a female friend. But I felt like this woman and like this man were like kind of dating and like talking. Oh my god, wait, yeah, they are in a relationship, aren't they? Did she know about this girl? Imagine this girl's like another woman he's dating.
So one day I asked him if he wanted to go to this thing with me, and his response was, yes, as long as you pay for my haircut, which is about $65 or so.
Wait, so he's literally making you pay for his haircut as well? Yeah, you just need to dump him. Look, in a relationship, there's obviously going to be someone who has a lot more money than the other person. Sometimes people don't like that, and I've got a feeling this man doesn't have a lot of money, nothing wrong with that. But you know, he's literally leeching off you. And how's he going to go on about only Gucci touches his body when he's literally asking you to pay for his haircut?
I said, what? He was like, yeah, anytime a girl wants me to go somewhere, I make them pay for my haircut. You got the wrong chick, okay? I am not a sugar mama.
And thank God you eventually dumped him. Moral of the story, even if there's one small red flag, don't ignore it, trust your gut and dump them.
This may seem really basic, but I really wish that somebody had pointed it out to me far earlier in my life. I would say the time that he said something incredibly hurtful, demeaning, and disrespectful that hurt my feelings in a big way. And I waited till the next day to talk to him about it calmly and affectionately and sweetly and let him know that he had hurt my feelings, and comments like that are hurtful. And I got yelled at and met with rage and told that I was too sensitive.
Okay, so basically he upset your feelings, said something really degrading and upsetting. You left it a day and then went to talk to him and he screamed at you. That's just typical men. I bet he's got an Xbox and he plays like Call of Duty. Why are they all so sensitive?
All together now? That's gaslighting. If you calmly and effectively state your needs or your hurt and the other person does nothing about it but get mad at you for it, they are not in that relationship for you. They don't care about you. They are only in it for themselves, and they will continue to do that to you until you are a shell of a person. Trust me. If you get in trouble for being a person, for having feelings and having needs, just run. Just run. Love you.
Thank God all these people eventually got out of these relationships, but I think it's quite sad that they had to go through this. Yeah, again, it's like they're not like in touch with your emotional side. In a relationship, you need trust, and quite clearly, he doesn't give a shit about you.
Their idealistic self as a way to try to distract me from who they currently were. Let's talk about it. When we discuss not falling for potential, we tend to kind of talk about how we project the potential we see in somebody else onto that person. But we don't speak on how someone can use their own potential as a way to try to distract you from how they currently are behaving. We spoke a lot about who they wanted to be, how they wanted to behave, how they wanted to care for me and provide for me, how they were working hard and on the pathway to do just that. And as great as it sounded, who they currently were was absolutely none of that.
I've actually noticed that. Like, I hear a lot of people talking about how they're working towards being a different person and who they currently are, but then they never get round to that. I feel like it's kind of like politicians. Like, they say they're going to do X, Y, and Z, and then they do none of it. They tell you what you want to hear, but they don't actually do it.
So essentially, it was a matter of, I'm nowhere near the person you deserve to be with. However, I'm working towards it and will eventually be that person one day in the near future. Maybe, possibly. And not gonna lie, at first, I did fall for it. Over time, I began to realize and accept that who they were describing didn't currently exist.
I feel like we've all fallen for someone like that. Like, I've spoken to a few guys and they just are not the type of person who make themselves out to be. And do you want to know something? You shouldn't be embarrassed about it. It's a learning curve. Now in the future, if I ever do talk or speak or date another guy, that's one thing I'm definitely going to look out for. It's like a red flag.
I had no idea how long it would take for them to become that person, so I left.
And do you want to know something good on you? You put yourself first. You always have to, in every single situation, put yourself first. Even like if you have to basically tread over eggshells, put yourself first. Who cares? One day you're gonna die, so, you know, don't live your life for someone else, live it for you.
I stupidly went on 3 different dates with this guy, and they basically all went this same way. A little bit of backstory is I'm a bit of a picky eater, to the point where I always look at the restaurant menu ahead of time to make sure that there's stuff on there that I want to eat. He also knew that. I get to the bar about 15 minutes early, so I decide to have a glass of wine at the bar. 3 glasses of wine later, he finally arrived.
Oh god, 3 glasses of wine later? Oh god, after 3 glasses, how late was he? I struggled to drink wine, so it would probably take me about 4 hours to drink that amount. I'm assuming he was quite late.
We sit down and I look for the menu and he goes, oh, don't worry about that. I've already ordered ahead. Food arrives and it's squid ink pasta with tripe and this carrot puree with capers. I hate tripe. And capers.
I mean, did he ask you what you wanted to eat beforehand? Surely if you're gonna go on a date, like, you should talk about what you want to eat. I've never been on a date, I don't know how they go. But, like, even I know that, like, you should, like, talk to the person about what they want to eat before, like, you order it. I can't even remember. She got, like, I don't know, I think it was some, like, sort of fish, like, squid thing.
So I'm pushing the food around my plate just to make it look like I ate it. And eventually he notices, since he's been spending the entire time talking about how lucky I should feel, seeing that he is a project manager and I'm just a lowly project coordinator. Tell him the truth and then I'm going to order something else. And he tells me I'm not paying for anything else, in which I informed him I have my own money.
I bet you didn't like that. He seems to have a bit of an attitude, doesn't he? Talking about how he's such a good person. I mean, I'm all for gassing yourself up and making yourself feel amazing, but you're at a date. Go on, ask the woman stuff about herself.
Then he tells me that women aren't allowed to pay for their own food when they're with him.
I mean, do you want to know something? That's like kind of good. I know it's like not good, but then it also is. If women aren't allowed to pay for their own food, that's fine. Order stuff, he'll pay for it. Do you want to know? You might as well scam him for as long as you can. And you went on for 3 more dates. I'm hoping he paid for all the meals.
I have told some stories about recording studio guy. Here's another one. We've been together for a few months, and I felt like things were going really great. I was calling him my boyfriend. We'd been physically intimate. We were having a really good time. So one night we're hanging out. He gets a phone call. He looks at the caller ID and says, I have to take this, and then goes into the sound booth. The soundproof sound booth. He's in there for like 45 minutes, and when he finally comes out, he is visibly agitated.
Oh, damn. So the man went into the soundproof booth for a phone call for 45 minutes. He came out and now he's acting a bit shook. What's going on?
So I ask him, what's wrong? He paces around for a little bit, then he turns to me and says, we're friends, right?
I know exactly what's happened. He's got a partner, hasn't he? I mean, you two were literally going at it for a few months. You were intimate, kissing, spending time with each other. I think you're more than friends.
He explains that there was a call from a woman that we both knew, who unbeknownst to me, he had been seeing for about a month, and she was calling to break it off with him.
Wait a minute. So he's been seeing you for a few months and he's also been seeing this woman. How do these men do it? It's like they flirt and date multiple people at the same time. I mean, I'm good at flirting with people, but like even me, I wouldn't do that.
His feelings were very hurt and he wanted to be consoled. I stayed with him for a year.
Why? Why would you do that? I mean, thank God you left him in the end, but why, oh why, oh why? So he was basically cheating on you and then like wanted to like consolidate with you. I don't even know what consolidate means, but I hope you didn't let him.
She liked me too much, too soon. Hear me out. I had just started to see this girl and she was enamored with me immediately. I even told the girl who cuts my hair, I was like, she likes me so much. We haven't even known each other that long. And she's like, do you have a real problem with her liking you this much? And I was like, okay, maybe you're right.
I can understand what he means. You know, if you're going to start talking to someone, if they get like really attached to you really quickly, it's kind of like freaky. Not in like a bad way. It's just like, oh God, oh hello, you're like a wee puppy. You know, if you're seeing someone and then like they like constantly text you, and I don't mean like constantly, I mean like blow up your phone every minute. It's happened to me before and I sort of sit back and think, oh God, what am I getting myself into?
And the first time I stayed the night, she has 2 kids. The kids got up before I do. I was like, oh, should I like try and sneak out? And she's like, no, it's fine. We'll just say that you're my friend. It had been 2 weeks. I eventually ended up breaking my lease, moving in with her. I was there all the time anyway, and her roommate moved out. It was a smart move. One day she gets really upset about something, and she looks at me and starts screaming. She's like, you weren't supposed to see this. What? Anyway, the anniversary of her and her next boyfriend, the cashier that she managed that I wasn't supposed to worry about, is the same week I moved out.
Oh, damn, so she had a boyfriend while she was seeing you, while you were living together, while she had kids. Were they the cashier's kids? We've heard a lot about really bad boyfriends in this video, but I'm telling you, girls are just as bad.
She didn't want me. She wanted someone.
Oh, well, I'm sad you had to go through that. And yet again, it's not just men, it's also women. Well, anyways, that's where I leave that video there. If you ever do see a red flag in someone, please don't ignore it. Trust your gut and dump them. If you want to see me make more videos like this in the future, let me know, definitely will. Press that big red subscribe button, and yes, I'll see you all in my next video.